Okay, guys, we are calculating standard deviation, but this time we've actually got a frequency column as well. So there's a couple of ways we could do this with the calculator. We could enter 15, 15, 15, 16, 16, 16, 16, and do it that way and end up with 22 different bits of information. But we can also, and that's the way we would have done it in the previous example when we were doing that, we just entered each one. Even though we had 27 twice, we entered 27 twice. Because we've got a frequency table, we can actually do it in a bit of a quicker manner. So if we go to our mode and go into stats mode and we want one variable, we've still only got one variable, which is that one there. So we want number one for one variable. It gives us an X column. But what we're missing is this frequency column here. Okay, so to bring that up on your calculator, we actually go to shift. So anything that's in yellow, we use the shift button to get to. So we go to shift and then the mode button, which brings us into setup. Now you'll notice that there's 8 different things there: math.io, line.io, deg, rad, graph, fix, science, and normal. So they're all different things you can use on the calculator. We don't want any of them. We want to press the down arrow, and then there's ABC, DC, there's display, and there's cont. But there's this one, number 3, stat. So if we click on that, we go into statistics. So we're now setting up statistics mode, and we've got the option to turn frequency on or leave it off. Now I'm going to turn it on, obviously. Bang, 1, and all of a sudden we've got a frequency column. Now you can leave that forever. Like, it doesn't matter if it's there. It just means when I enter the score 15 and hit equals, it automatically gives us a frequency of 1. Now we're going to use our arrows, go up and change that to 3 so that it matches what we've got. But you could just leave it, even if you weren't using a frequency one, even if you were doing these, you could just leave it and it'll always have the frequency of 1 next to it. It's up to you. I don't mind having it on or off. Remembering how to turn it on or off is always helpful. All right, so we're just going to put in, I'm not going to worry about the frequency to start off with. I'm just going to go 16, 17, 18, 19, put all them in. Then I'll come down to the frequency column, and I've already done the 3, then I've got 4, and when I hit enter or when I hit equals, it's just going to go down to the next frequency one anyway. So there's a 6 and a 4 and a 5. So there you go. They're all in. Now, we've entered 5 scores, but the frequency of them is 3, 4, 6, 4, and 5, which if you add up, actually adds up to 22. So if I hit all clear, as we've done in the past, and then I go to shift 1 to go to my statistics, and I go to 4 for my variable, and I go to number 1 for my number, it should tell me that I've got 22 bits of data, which it does. Okay, because 15 is in there 3 times, 16 is in there 4 times, and so on and so forth. Which, if you've got a frequency table, makes it a lot easier to enter the information in a much quicker rate of time. Now, in an exam where you might be entering these in, and they do take some time to enter in, if you've got the frequency table, please use this. It is so much quicker. All right, so now what we need to do is we still need to find the population sample standard deviation. Now, the great thing is you've already done that on the previous question. We're going to do it exactly the same way. Your data is now in there. If I go shift 1 and let's have a look at number 2 for our data, your data is all in there. And even though you've done the frequency of 3 and all that, the calculator is recognizing that that's 15, 15, 15, and then 4 of the 16s and then 6 of the 17s, okay? So the calculator is doing all the hard graft. You're just entering it in. So now we go shift 1 and we bring up the variables, and we've got population standard deviation, which is, I called it delta X earlier. Anyway, we've got that one, and we've got S of X as well. Okay. So we're just going to do those. So the first one we're going to do is number 3. Sorry, just typing something on my other computer at the time. So we're going to type number 3, if I can find my mouse. There it is, 3, which brings up that one, which gives us 1.33608. Yeah, I called it delta earlier. Sorry, it is sigma. Delta and sigma are fairly similar. So I'll just show you delta. Delta looks like that, which is an O, and it keeps going on. Sigma actually goes the other way and has like a top on it. It's almost like a 5. So I do get them confused sometimes. So we're dealing with sigma. Sorry about that. So we've just done that one. So our population standard deviation is, what did I say, 1.33608. 1.33608. And our sample standard deviation, so we go back to our calculator, we'll clear that, we'll go shift, we'll go 1, we go variable and number 4 and hit equals, and it's going to be slightly larger. We're expecting that, 1.3675. 1.3675. So there you go. And it said to actually answer them correct to 2 decimal places. So let's do that. 1.34 because the 6 makes us round up. And this 1.37 because the 7 makes us round up. And that's it. We are done with that one. Sorry about the relatively lengthy explanation. But it's important that you know how to do these things on the calculator because you really, really don't want to have to do them on paper if you can possibly avoid it. And to be honest, the calculations, the actual formula for sample and population standard deviation are beyond the scope of the course. So you need to be able to do it on the calculator. And let's face it, it's a lot quicker.